So I'm going to show you some tips for how to draw this isometric part widget block correctly. And I'm going to go back to here. And I got to ask you, did yours come out looking like this? Because it's not correct, unfortunately. It's incorrect. You'll notice that this square here is 17 by 17. It's up from the bottom 7, and it's over 11 from the inside of that little stand thing there. So this is incorrect. I'm going to do a little suppression stuff here. You can see you can suppress things and then you can unsuppress them if you like. I'm going to resuppress that one. But what you want is you want yours to look like that. Okay, let's talk about how I went about drawing this part. I'm not going to walk you through everything that I did, but I will show you what I did, I guess is the best way to put it. The first thing is I started my work plane, or excuse me, my sketch plane on the right-hand plane of the part, and I did normal to, and I created this sketch right here, which is the overall height of the block, the overall width of it, and this stage, or the top of the part, that dimension up there. Then once I did that, I'm going to show you what I did next. So I'm going to close out of that, and let's see if we can get to this easily. My dog just barked. And what I did is I did an extrusion of that area. Okay, so here's what I did. I created this little block here, and how I did that is I actually created a sketch. Get this turned on. Here we go. I created a sketch on the front plane, and you can see that right here. Okay, and I'm going to get that plane turned off. So I created a sketch on there. I dimensioned it the way it's supposed to be, and then I did the extrude going back so that it would go to this face. Now, once I had that done, then I went and made sketch number 3. I put this one on the back surface right here, and sketch 3 was a cut that went through again to this face. Everything is going to the face right now. Now, once I had that done, what I needed to do was, or what I wanted to do was, I wanted to get these two features over onto the opposite side. This extrusion is the overall length of the part, which is, let's see, and 53 millimeters was the overall length of the part. So what when I actually did the initial extrude, this extrude number 1 up here, what I used in the extrude command, if I double click on it, is the symmetric. So it extruded it half of 53 millimeters to the left and half of 53 millimeters to the right. So that way I have that sketch plane right down, let's see, yeah, it goes right through the right hand side of the part. There it is. That's the view I was looking for. So once I had that sketch plane, once I had extruded it to both sides of the right hand plane, what I was able to do then was I used the mirror tool, and this is the mirror tool right here, and I mirrored this using the features tool. So I'm going to double click on that one. So up here, it defaults to part mirror, which doesn't help me at all, but it does work for feature mirror. So I was able to click because these are two extrudes, and an extrude cut and an extrude add. Those are features, so I was able to extrude those features, and I ended up with this part right here. I'm sure that was very confusing, unfortunately. Now, okay, now we're going to draw that hole that goes through this part. And when I initially looked at this, I thought that this was going to be much easier than it was. I thought I would just put a square on the back here that was a 17 by 17 and up 7 millimeters and extrude it through, but unfortunately that was wrong. So thanks to Tyler Preach for figuring this out and showing me how he did it. And I've gone through it now and done it myself. So I'm going to demo this for you. So I'm going to put a sketch and I'm going to put it on this angled plane right here. And I'm going to use my rectangle tool. And I'm going to put in the dimensions of this thing, 17 by 17. And then I'm going to locate the thing, this news rectangle here from the bottom, and that's supposed to be up 7 millimeters. And then it's supposed to be from this wall to there, it's supposed to be 11 millimeters. So that is the first thing that I had to do. Next up is I'm going to create an extrusion of that part, and 25 millimeters is just fine for a length. Okay, sketch, click on the region there we go, and green check mark. So uh, we're in pretty good shape right now. Haven't used a remove tool or anything like that. Now, next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to use what's called a section tool. I'm not sure if you remember from Inventor, but you could press like F6 or 7 and you could actually cut something in half so that you can see. Right now, what I want to do is there's an intersection down in here. Maybe you just saw it. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. I want to use these lines that are in the part here, but it's kind of a pain in the neck to see that. So I'm going to go back to the isometric view so you can see what I did here. So what I did is I go to this cube, and down at the bottom is what's called section view, and I'll show you the section view in a second, but I gotta tell you how it works because I've already created this, so you'll see it in a second. So I clicked on section view, and the thing that's going to ask me to do is to select a work plane or a surface to create the section view on. So then I just picked on this surface right here, and when I did that, that's the result that I get. Okay, so now I'm going to green check mark where it says section view there. That gets all that other stuff out of my way so that I can easily see this this block, right? So then I'm going to put a sketch onto that surface right there, and I can right click and say view normal to, and I'll scroll in a bit here so we can see this. And now I'm going to use my line tool, and I'm going to come right from where this intersects the angled plane, and I'm going to click. I'm just going to come out some distance. I don't want to go all the way over to here, but just like to there. And then I'm going to bring from the end of that line down to there. All right. And then I'm going to press escape. Now I'm going to click perpendicular, and I'm going to select these two lines that I just drew, but I got to do it in the opposite order. So undo. So perpendicular. Let's see, is this the opposite order? Let's get this right. Nope, that's not the opposite order. So I got to do the top one first. My mistake. Top one, then that one. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want. It's not what I want. perpendicular. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to, since this is giving me a little bit of trouble, I'm going to put a horizontal on that one. Okay, so now that's locked in. Now I'll do this. There we go. That's exactly what I want right there. Okay, so previously when I've done this, I was able to get this little rectangle piece to be 90 degrees easily, but this time I just had to put a constraint on it and made that top line go horizontal, which is exactly what I want. All right, so now I am done with that sketch, and let's right click and look at this isometrically. Good. Now I am going to use my extrude tool, and this is going to be a remove, and then the blue is always what it wants information wise, and I'm going to click on this outer area here, and then the depth is not going to be blind, it's going to be up to face, and I'll spin this around and click on this face on the back side here, and I'll green check mark that, and then right click and back to our isometric. Now I can turn this the section view off by going to the cube and saying turn section off. And then I'm going to go to extrude, remove, and I'm going to click on this face right here. And again, this is going to be to a face. And I'll spin it around here and click on that back wall and green check mark and right click isometric. And now that gives us the correct dimensions. So I'm going to use the tape measure. The tape measure is down here in this lower right corner. It says show measure details. So I'm just going to select that line, and it tells me that that line is 16 millimeters. Hit escape. I'll do the one across 17 millimeters, I think I should have said. Whoops, come on you. There we go. 17 millimeters. So those dimensions are correct. I'll tape measure from that line to this one. That's 11, so that's correct. And then the last one to just double check is from this line to this one, and that is 7 millimeters up also. So that's how you do that weird that weird sloped face to make your part correct.